start. Alrighty, just give me a thumbs up that it's cool that I'm recording you. Awesome. Cool, man. So you're from the UK, right?
Yeah, man.
So are you like kind of closer to London or somewhere else?
I'm in London actually.
Dude, what is it like with COVID in London?
You know what? It's not as bad as people think, you know? Like it is kind of bad. Like obviously I wish it was all back to normal. But as a whole, it's not that bad. Just get to chill at home, do a little bit of work for college, you know what I'm saying? Do all my stuff. Just living
So
in it.
so you're a college student and I guess probably just waiting things out until you can
Basically.
graduate, like taking college classes online.
Yeah. To be
What
honest, main thing right now is the job.
is a job, you're saying?
No jobs about. Absolutely none.
That's crazy. How are people making able to make any money to like pay
Well,
rent?
to be honest. Most people just work from home now, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling. But yeah, it's actually the work thing is actually kind of bad over here. That we actually, as a country, we losing millions and billions, and it's not good.
Do you know anyone that's gotten COVID?
I actually had COVID.
You had it?
Yeah, about 4 weeks ago, I've had it.
What was it like?
Yeah. Well, for me, because I'm a little bit younger, it weren't that bad. I just didn't get to taste nothing. But it's just not being able to see your family because obviously I just stayed in my room for the 2 weeks. I didn't want to spread it to my little sister and I. I've got a little dog as well. I'd hate it for
Mm,
that something to happen. Maybe I don't know. You
mm.
never know, innit? What about you?
Yeah, my dad had it. My dad had COVID. One of my best friends had COVID, but I have not. Um, I get tested like very often, so
Mm,
and I kind of stay in. I don't really go out much.
mm.
But yeah, I mean, so what are you in school for? Like, what is your story?
Well, it's kind of like I didn't really get that much grades, so I'm kind of doing just like a basic science thing, just like a little bit of science every now and then, and mostly construction, but practical work. Just building stuff.
Mm.
I did have some work, but obviously I got let down because of the COVID stuff.
Yeah, that's tough.
I know, man. Everything's just ruined, and I'm turning 18 this year, man.
Oh, you're young. You're still young. You're still, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
but I mean, 18
It's the
is a
best
milestone.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. In England, that's when you get to drink. That's when you get to go to pubs. Everything. So yeah, it's
Mm.
bummer.
Mm.
Bummer.
What is like your dream job? If you could get paid like $500,000 to do anything, what would you do?
Is it like realistic or anything I could just like think of?
Let's do both, like realistically and also like ideal.
Okay, realistically would be a property developer that buy houses, do them up. But that's a long way in the future, isn't it? Like can't do that when I'm 18. But
Hmm.
but if it was anything, mm, prob- I'm not really good at it. But probably gaming, it's just fun, isn't it?
Just like streaming, getting paid to play
Yeah,
video games.
like
Oh
all
man,
these people getting millions of pounds just, wow, it's crazy.
that's nuts.
And
I mean, it only takes like I mean it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get there, but like you could do a little bit of it, I guess, right? Like you could start a Twitch stream or
I don't really have all the equipment. I'm gonna put my phone down, so it's just gonna be a black screen in it.
so that's okay.
But yeah, I don't really have the equipment because I think you need like a Elgato. What else? just all the editing stuff. I don't think I would do Twitch screen because live, and I'll be really nervous with that at first. But
What's your favorite game? Oh, can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Ah. That's what happens. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to sign out now. He's from the UK. What's going on?
How
Dude?
goes it?
I'm all right, man.
Not much, just right on. Good to hear. How's your evening been?
Okay, I'm doing okay. I'm actually right now I'm recording for my YouTube channel, so just to let you know. But yeah, I've got yeah, that's right.
Guess I'm fucking nervous.
This is my YouTube channel. I just talk to people on Omegle about their stories and stuff.
Well, that's my YouTube channel where I
No
do guns
way.
and Omegle stuff as well.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, amazing.
I'm dead serious. I'm looking you up right now.
That's amazing, dude. Mr. Meat Shower. I love that name.
How long have you been doing the? If you're laughing at it, that means it's doing its job.
Yeah, that's great.
So, how long have you been doing the YouTubes?
Dude, I've been doing it. What a surprise. This is a pleasant surprise. Since July 1st, I've been uploading almost a video every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. 363 videos, 430 subscribers. Yeah, then we're kind of I'm in the same boat where I'm gunning for the K right now.
Dude, yeah, it's a long road, at least for the things that, you know. What do you so like? Yeah, tell me about your channel. What's going on?
Actually, I was just gonna say, I was talking to a guy who, on average, gets like he showed me he gets an average of 1 million views a video, but he does how-to videos, stuff like that. But so like he was telling me like oh fuck, someone who's actually like you're getting monetized. He's like, I'm a full-time YouTuber. This is how I make my living. This is what I get taxed on. And I asked like, what was like the most difficult part of it all? He's like, honestly, dude, going for the K. Like going for that 1,000 after that, you know, the YouTube algorithm starts picking you up. And you start to notice, it all depends on too what your content is and stuff like that. But basically, just talking to people on Omegle and uploading the best or memorable or funny experiences I have. And then also doing some gun videos because I'm a law-abiding firearm owner here in Canada.
Dude, actually, yeah, this is amazing. Would you be able? Could you talk a little bit about like your position on guns and like why? I don't know, like why you think?
I would be
Yeah, go for it.
more than happy to. And I will say this, like right off the bat, I've even done a test. I am libertarian left when it comes to politics. So and I grew up on the West Coast. So, so owning a firearm in Canada, I take it you're in the United States?
I am. Yeah, I'm in Florida.
Florida. So in the United States, it's a birthright to own firearms. You have your Second Amendment to protect yourself, just to protect yourself not only from a tyrannical government, but just to keep the government honest, and various other reasons. But here in Canada, it's a privilege, much like owning a car. And here in Canada, we have to go through the, you just can't go out to a store and buy a gun in Canada. You first and foremost, you have to be over the age of 18. You have to go through the Canadian Firearms Program, which is like the same as like getting your driver's license, except there's two versions of the license. There's your possession and acquisition license, and then there's your restricted possession and acquisition license. Your possession and acquisition license basically allows you for like hunting rifles, essentially. Mm-hmm. So shotguns, bolt actions, a few semi-automatic rifles. But your restricted, or your RPAL, now allows you to purchase handguns and other certain semi-automatic rifles, most of which were classified as prohibited after our May 1st gun ban. From there, so when you go, first and foremost, you do the class, If you do just your PAL, it's 1 day. If you do your RPAL, it's another day on top of that. In total, to get both licenses, it's almost $300. Then after that, you fill out your RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police background information form. You have to get 2 character witnesses. If you've been in a long-term relationship or common law marriage, you have to put that person down, and because the RCMP is going to contact them. If you've been in a divorce or a termination of a common law relationship in the past 2 to 4 years, if I remember correctly, you have to disclose that, because the RCMP is going to contact that person and say, hey, this person's about to, this person wants a gun. Do you trust them with that?
Yeah.
From there, it's about a 3 to 5 month waiting period before you even get your license. And then from there, basically all hunting rifles, there's, you can shoot them wherever, whatever land you're allowed to shoot. So like crown land, the government land, like if you're hunting and stuff like that. But handguns and restricted firearms can only be shot at a designated range. You're only allowed to transport those rifles to and from your house or to a gunsmith or a gun store to get work on them. You can't go out into the bush and shoot them. We have magazine capacities, 5 rounds for semi-automatic rifles, 10 rounds for pistols, and big storage laws, like they have to be locked up, ammunition has to be separate, trigger locks on them, all this.
So like so many
we have a lot of
regulations.
the gun laws that your left side wants, we have had in place since the early 90s. So
What do you think of them?
as much
Do you
as
think they're effective?
yes and no. Certain aspects are, others aren't. I 100 and I know I'm going to have friends in the United States that are about to say, "Fuck you, commie," but we have to go through licensing for owning a vehicle, and vehicles kill a fuck ton more people a day than guns will this week. But they are dangerous. Guns can be dangerous. They 100% can be, just like alcohol, just like cars, just like power tools. Just like with my job, I have to have a license to do my job because I can kill people if I do it wrong. So I do agree with that. And that's the other thing. When I go to the range, I know that so-and-so beside me, I know they've done the Canadian Firearms Program. I know that they know basic firearm rules and laws. And here's the thing, like, that's not a bad thing. Like, every Canadian firearm owner out there has the same base level of training. And the other thing too is every day, every Canadian firearm owner, like if you have your license, you go through a background check every day on top of that, which I'm cool with. Like, it's like, I've got really nothing to hide.
What are your thoughts of the automatic weapon ban that you guys have up there?
Well, automatic weapons have been banned since the 70s in Canada.
Oh,
So-
okay. So, and
Yeah.
do you think, like, looking at the assault rifle ban that happened in the U.S. and then it was
Well, first and
rescinded,
foremost, they're not assault rifles. Assault rifles have also been banned in Canada since the mid to late 70s. They were semi-automatic rifles that were banned simply by cosmetics. That's the gist of it. There's no such thing as an assault rifle either. There's no actual definition of the term assault rifle. It's a made-up term. There's semi-automatic rifles. There's semi-automatic rifles that look scary, and then there's semi-automatic rifles that have been used in massacres and mass shootings. But then also, like the term assault rifle is made up. It's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah. So I think
But
that
it was-
I think that the general
It was semi-automatic.
in the zeitgeist of what assault rifle means, I think people mean, and what I mean is a semi-automatic rifle. And so
Yeah, because that's the thing. You ask people like, well, what's an assault rifle? Nobody knows. I can tell you exactly what a semi-automatic rifle is. It's a rifle that every time I pull the trigger, a round goes out, the action works its way, or the action works, ejects a shell casing, loads a new one, and when I pull that trigger again, we go through the same cycle.
So so in terms of like your opinions of gun laws in the United States and our allowance of semi-automatic weapons, what are your opinions of that? And do you think that how do you think that American gun regulations can be improved?
Well, here's the thing. We're literally comparing apples to stakes right now because, again, here in Canada, it's a privilege, where in the States, it's a birthright. But the other thing, too, is I think one of the things you were kind of more leaning towards, like, as a Canadian, what do I think about Canada or about the United States use of semi-automatic rifles? It was kind of like you guys kind of saw you tilting that way a little bit. And the other, like, I'll just put it, the best way to put it is there's no doubt about it. This semi-automatic rifles, especially the AR platform, the Armalite rifle platform, gets a lot of bad press. You and I can both agree on that, can we not?
The semi-automatic rifles get a lot of bad press, yes.
Yeah, especially like the AR-15, Armalite Rifle 15. It gets a lot of bad press because it has been used in some high-profile mass shootings in your country.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Last year, in the year of 2020, out of all the firearm deaths in the United States, first and foremost, I forgot, actually, Colion Noir covered this. I think it's Colion Noir or someone else. But the mass amount of gun deaths in the United States were suicide, which
Yeah,
is,
the majority, yeah.
but since it is firearm violence, it goes towards the big number that you guys have. Out of all the gun deaths in the United States last year, not including suicide. So out of all the gun deaths last year that rifles were involved, so we're talking semi-automatic, bolt action, any sort of long gun, was 48. And that's for self-defense, criminal, and self-defense and criminal use. 48. And our country tries to go like, well, look what's going on down with those guys. We had a mass murder up here where a guy killed 11 people with a gun and burned. Oh, then also he burned 9 people alive. But a mass shooting of 21 people, even though it was only 11 people that he shot and then burned the other 9 to the best way to put it, all these politicians keep on focusing on what could have been done, and then try to guilt people into it. But none of them are actually looking forward into like what is the actual problem. Because the real problem with
I completely agree with you.
The real problem with our country is gang violence with handguns. That is like the biggest problem for both of our countries. And how do you tackle gang violence? Well, and like instead of tackling guns, the root cause is gang violence, and that's what we need to be fucking tackling. We need to be and actually a few people have covered this, and it's instead of tackling this issue, because here's the thing, to tackle an issue of giving underprivileged kids who live in impoverished, in poor communities, right? Instead of giving them hope and opportunities and programs to get out of there or to better their community or to just better themselves, that takes time. That takes on average, well, what's the average school span for a kid? 12 years, right? So the quickest you'll see any results is about 6 to 8 years. But what's the average term of a politician? And nobody wants to put in work for a program that they might not get credit for. So really, you can almost fucking trace gun violence and all this shit back to politicians not wanting to put effort on the line because they're not going to get credit for it. Mm-hmm. Once we change that, I bet you, I would more than happy to be a martyr. We're just like, yep, I'm going to put my name on this. Oh, I got voted up. Well, guess what? Hopefully in fucking 4 to 8 years, we'll start seeing shit going down. And guess what? I can go to bed in 4 to 8 years knowing I made a difference.
Do you like to what extent? So yeah, I think you're getting at something like very root there, and like I guess I'm interested. Like, to what extent do you think it's lack of political will to put in effort where people won't be able to get credit versus the special interests that are helping to fund their campaigns and getting reelected? Like, for you, what is your do you think they're intertwined? Do you think one takes priority over the other as a major root issue?
Well, money will always talk, right? And yeah, money. I mean, I've seen. To kind of add on to what you're like, with what I'm saying there too, is there is a group here. Actually, it was the Canadian Association of Police Chiefs. for the past 2 years have been saying a handgun ban won't do any good and is just a waste of valuable resources and time. And then with the new bill that was introduced a couple weeks ago, now they're saying, oh, this is a great idea. It is essentially a handgun ban. So it's just like, okay, well, yeah, no money talk to them. But I think so with your question, like, can you re-ask the question there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I this is the thing, is that I don't know the level of corruption that's going on in Canada, right? Like, I don't know.
We're your little brother, so, you have 10 terabytes of porn on your lap, or, hidden on a hard drive. We just figured out what Pornhub was, so trust me, we're corrupted too. Not as much, but we're still searching up on Pornhub to see what's going on. That's the best way to put it. Well, look at our prime minister. Our prime minister in fucking the past 4 years has had more scandals than the previous government did in almost 10 years of service. So,
wow, I don't really know anything about Trudeau with all of this stuff.
His first term, I will say this: his first. You've got the way I describe it's like you guys have been dealing with the fire in the living room, but you forgot that the stove was left on. But you guys will. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Trudeau's first term, I will be the first to say it, I think he did a great fucking job. He legalized cannabis. He tried to open up, try to build closer trade ties with India, another big booming market up and coming. Unfortunately, he fucking got a lot of pie in the face while doing it, made himself look like an ass. He stood up to some companies that I'm not a fan of, saying, tough cookies, you're gonna have to do, like, this is the way things are, and you have to put your employees in front of profits. And also, he bought the Kinder Morgan pipeline, a pipeline that was going to take oil products from Alberta across British Columbia, and it was getting a lot of negative press, a lot of protesters, and a lot of the companies were backing out of it until eventually he said, fuck it, this product needs to get to port, I'm buying it, and created a shit ton of jobs. So his first term, I have nothing but good things to say about him. This second term, I can't wait to fucking vote him out. Scandals, horrible handling of fucking COVID-19, horrible handling of vaccination, May 1st OIC, Bill C-21, and also all those laws, or all the things that he promised those certain companies, or the employees of those companies were like, yeah, trust me, we're helping you guys stand up. He did what politicians do, where he promises something, but it's not going to fall through. So, yeah.
Like, what, in terms of, like, I love that you are so well read and educated on these topics. What, for you, like, how do you look at the Canadian government in terms of how your elected officials are influenced by special interests? And to what extent do you think Canada is dealing with that issue today?
Well, here in Canada, we don't have as many special interest groups in the States. We don't. You kind of do and you kind of don't see it. It's a little more transparent when you do see it. For example, I'm a due-paying member of. I hate to compare it to the NRA because the NRA doesn't really do anything for gun owners in the States as of lately, but it's Pro Firearms Group, it's Canadian Coalition for Firearms, right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, they've done it themselves too. Like, but yeah, it's a Pro Firearms Group. They're basically the only gun lobby in Canada. They openly speak about who they support, and those certain MPs, members of Parliament, go like, yeah, like I talked to so and so at the CCFR. I completely see eye to eye there. And it's a lot more open and apparent. Like when a lobbying group is discussing or talking to someone or to an MP about something, it's a lot more apparent instead of like, what we see on TV when it comes to United States politics, was just all of a sudden so and so goes like, oh, I've had a change of heart, and then suddenly I see things differently. Like we don't. For me, we don't see that as much. So there is. I personally feel there's a little more transparency. But the other thing too is, I could be a little bit of tunnel vision just with what my passions and stuff are. Yeah, totally. That's just the only real version I can really see of this, or the two examples. One is my work. I'm not going to say what I do, but just vaguely, I work in the transportation industry. So the union I'm with and stuff like that, they constantly lobby MP and government saying like, look, we can't let these companies do the way things the way they want, because or else shit's going to fucking start crashing all over the place and people are going to start dying. And then with the firearm lobby as well, all of that's the other thing too, from what I understand too. I might be incorrect about on this, but at least I know with like the CCFR, from what I've seen, like
What is CCFR?
none of our
Can you say that again?
a Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights.
Okay, great.
So yeah, from what I see, none of our dues, like none of our membership fees, actually goes towards like lining some MP's pocket. All of it goes towards TV programming, ads, fighting. We currently have we're taking the gun ban to court, and that costs a fuck ton of money. So all the money goes towards that essentially. But yeah, I guess to sum it up, the best way to say it is when there is lobbying going on and stuff like that, and interest groups trying to influence the political powers that be here, it does appear to be a little more transparent, not more behind the scenes. At least in the bigger cases. That's the best way.
It seems like that too, from at least an American perspective. It seems like Canada is finding this balance of kind of European Scandinavian culture versus and with like a population that also has like American like interests, you know. It's like,
I think that's actually a very astute way of putting it. No, I think that's very on the nose. Like because we do have that balance of socialism and capitalism at the same time, much like most Scandinavian countries do. And of course, just we do it in a little more, I guess, right-leaning capitalistic way versus, say, Scandinavian countries, just simply by our proximity to you and our relationship with you. I mean, if you hear your neighbor fucking cranking Tupac for a couple days, you're gonna be like, you know what, fuck, I'm gonna fuck some greatest hits. Hey, but
well, I think to get onto that issue, the thing that Canada is doing really well that Scandinavia and the U.S. isn't working well on at all is racism and hate speech, and also.
Oh no, we have that. It's not as well.
Well, I guess
publicized.
hold on. Let me just finish this, because I think the thing that's making me think that is the refugee issue that is happening throughout the world. Like that Canada was able and had the political will to accept way more refugees than the U.S. did. You know, and so I guess that's the thing for me that is making me think that. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So on that, when it comes to say that, you know, we have racism here, we 100% do. With America's history with Black people, for us, it's substitute that for Indigenous First Nations, you know, and to this day, it's still, you can see it. It still exists in some places, and it's just like it. You know, racism just fucking sucks, man. Like it's pathetic to see people judge someone they have no idea, like they don't even know their fucking name, but it's just like, oh, his skin pigmentation is different than mine, therefore I fucking hate him. It's just like, that dude could like, you don't know anything about that dude. Like he could turn out to be your best friend. That always pisses me off. It's, we definitely do have an issue with racism here. Our black eye is, you know, residential schools, colonization, and just the way it happened too. Just, but when it came to the refugees, I wasn't against that at all. You know, you saw what was happening in Syria and shit. It's just like, fuck's sakes. Like, yeah, like, no, those people need to get out of there. But it was the way the situation was executed, which has made all of us just go like, whoa, hold the fuck on here, because it was just the way it was being shown to us through major media outlets and reports was, oh, you're from Syria? Come on in. And it's just like, okay, well, hold on here. Syria is a hotbed for, you know, extremism, for Muslim extremism.
Crazy stuff happening, right.
What are we doing? And you have two factions of extremists in a way. You have nationalist extremists and religious extremists, and then you have every fucking sort of other kind of faction in this big old stew of shit, you know, all in this concentrated area, and we're trying to get people out. But how are we making sure that we're taking people that deserve to be taken out so that they can actually get a fresh start, and we're not possibly picking out a few, we're not just doing open borders, come on in, what's yours is, what's ours is yours, take advantage of it. And next thing you know, we have a situation like what you see in the United Kingdom where fucking, Islamic extremism is on the fucking boom right now. And that was the way. It was the way it was executed. I think I can speak for most Canadians when I say, first and foremost, we're white, and like we are all from immigrants here, and for us as X generation immigrants to say to a new generation of immigrants, like, no, you're not fucking welcome here. That's hypocritical of us. But it was just the execution of the way it was done. That's what got us all up in arms. I'm all cool for taking fucking people who deserve to be out of a shit situation, out of that shit situation. Like, dude, welcome to our town. This is fucking, this is Tim Hortons. You don't want to fucking drink there because it's shit coffee, but have one cup so you can say you've done it. Also, here's the Canada one. This will take you from Vancouver to Toronto in 4 days. Please and thank yous. This is Superstore. This is our fucking grocery store and stuff like that. Check it. I'm all fucking for that. It's just, let's make sure we have people that share, I don't even want to say the same values, but just the same basic human principles. And it didn't appear that was happening that way. And then, and then you look at Germany, where Germany did an even worse job than Canada. And look what happened there. It was not good a couple years ago. Fucking, yeah. A lot of radicalists that were able to slip through the cracks showed up there, and a lot of violence was happening. Luckily, we got off. We I guess you could say the proof is in the pudding, where we haven't really had that situation. But yeah. So I guess you can call me out on that one.
Well, I guess moving on, I think, to like something that I think you're hitting on that is really a main social movement throughout our whole world is the rise of nationalism and national terrorism, pretty much nationalist terrorism, and just radicalism, in general, religious and otherwise. And for
very much so. And here's the thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is your opinion on why this is happening these days? And what do you think is a possible salve? 2 words,
social media. Social media. Like 100%, dude. The shit I see coming up, like, again, like I like recently I was kind of like, well, I kind of identify myself as a libertarian, but I kind of also consider myself a centrist too. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to do this fucking political spectrum test. And it's like, oh yeah, like, I am a centrist, but more left-leaning, but 100% libertarian. It's just like, fucking A, at least I knew that. But then all the fucking time, just by me being pro-gun, all the time in my Facebook feed. You know how like you click a video that your buddy posted and then a new video comes up and it's just like all the time it's hard right-wing media, whether it's like, Ben Shapiro or what's that one guy, the Ford, like all that shit, like all that like very, I don't think extreme right-wing, but definitely like right-wing media coming up. It's just like,
dude, the thing
I
just want to just jump in and say, like, I watched a Ben Shapiro video, and like I will listen to anyone talk about most things, but the thing with Ben Shapiro is that he's just so scared. Like, someone asks him a question and his responses are so fast, and like he's not even breathing when he's talking. It's like I sense so much fear within his responses. It's almost,
for me, I don't
sets me off. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't sense fear from that. I just sense, like, he's a smart man. There's no denying that. He's a very smart man. He's a very well-spoken man. Yeah. But for me, but it's just for me, it almost seems like he's talking down to you. Like, it's just like instant, like, my brain intellectual power is much, much bigger than yours, and you will not defeat me. And it's just like, okay, like, he's well-spoken. He knows his stats. He knows his facts. But often it seems like you can't have a conversation. I definitely believe some of it might be ego based, but it doesn't seem like you can have a conversation with him. It just seems like for him, this is the way it is, and that's that. You know, there's not an actual. You're not able to actually bring up have a conversation with him. Yeah, but like when it comes to radicalization, dude, 100% social media, whether it be the social media algorithm crunching its numbers and then just spitting that shit out for you, and then next thing you know, you're on you see these groups. Well, they have some funny media or funny memes that you think are funny. You click them. Next thing you know, you're talking to people about fucking overthrowing the government. Because not only I've 100% seen it happen. I watched it happen with the Boogaloo movement. I watched because I saw some funny memes, and then I started watching. There was certain sects of that movement. I thought it was kind of funny. There was a couple memes, and I enjoyed guns, and I enjoy Hawaiian shirts. And these guys are kind of anti, and telling the government to fuck off, know your role. It's like I am 100% for that. But then you saw a few people start to post some shit. It was just like, whoa, pump the brakes there, Scotty. And then next thing you know, Mike's talking to Scotty. And then guess what? Mike knows Todd and Dave. And Mike, Dave, Todd, and Scotty are all talking with each other. And then next thing you know, that's how it happens, man. Like the internet, for all the good that it creates a lot of bad too. So again, you have people where they see something, they start following it, they start talking to people about it that have similar, if not more extreme views of it, and it just fucking snowballs from there. So I think honestly, one of the best things to do to help fucking curb, these massive amounts of radicalization, extremism that we see is just fuck. We need to. It's just finding a way to.
I'm loving this, yeah, dude. I'm loving this right now.
People's social media use and make them a lot less dependent. But then at the end of the day, too, fuck freedom of speech. We all, besides living in North Korea, this is all here's the fucked up thing about it. Well, it's all our fucking right to do it.
Well, it's important to speak freely. I think it's also important to be as aware and open and empathetic with others as possible. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. It's like, how can we allow ourselves to speak freely and learn from other people's points of view? What you need is a foundation where you can literally have a conversation with a person, right? Ben Shapiro, mm-hmm. I don't feel like I could sit because there's a block and there's a lot of pushing, and to have a conversation, you need give and take. You need to listen. You need to breathe. Exactly what you were talking about.
And like you said, and you hit the nail on the head, where it's just it's 1,000 words that come in at you at a minute. Next thing you know, this fact. It's just fuck. Give me a minute to fucking digest this, dude. Yeah. But that's conversation. It's communicating, and that it seems that our generation, even though we live in the age where communicating is the easiest that it's ever been. I mean, look, you and I are a perfect example, dude. I live in the west coast of Canada. You live in the south coast of the United States, west coast and southeast coast, and we're fucking communicating and having fucking open dialogue and a conversation. Yet, what we're doing for, I would say, 95% of our generation, if not the world, is a fucking impossible task. And that's it's so ironic where, again, communication is the easiest it's ever been, but it is the most difficult thing to do now with humans. Fuck.
Yes. Mic drop. Well, I kind of want
I'm going to jump off a fucking bridge off that fucking realization shit.
I want to ask you a question about social media and your relationship to it. In what ways do you think social media has helped you as a person, and in what ways do you think it has been a detriment to you as a person?
That's a good question. And that's a general question, but that's a good question. I like that. Well, in ways that it's helped me, I mean, it helps me market out my my YouTube content and stuff like that. And there's it helps you get out to the world and stuff like that. If you feel like you have something to share to the world, it definitely gives you a platform. It's just you need to know how to use that platform, but it gives you that platform to do it.
Are you saying it's
I've met
giving,
some.
it's giving yourself, like you're saying it gives you a platform? Are you saying it's
Yeah.
helped you, like that?
It has, if 100%, because then I make a video that one friend thinks is funny. He posts it up on his wall. Next thing you know, 3 of his friends have subscribed and start watching. Guess what? There's 3 new people watching my shit. That's fucking cool. And it's helped me meet some cool people as well. But the downside is well, all you like are just our modern society has become so reliant off of it. It truly has. Like, hey, did you see that video I sent you on Facebook Messenger? No, did you see that video I posted on my wall? Like, oh no, like that's. And what do we do when we're bored? First thing we do, phone. We've become very reliant on them. Actually, this is a weird fucking example, dude. This was a couple months ago. 2 of my uncles are in town from out of province. And it's like, oh, fuck, I haven't seen these guys since my fucking wedding. And, my parents had just moved to town. My uncles are checking out their new place. I go to say hi, and people shit on our generation for being on their phones all the time. And here was 2 guys in their 60s on their fucking iPads and phones the entire time. It's just like, to the point where after like an hour and a half, I just told my parents, like, I'm going to go. It's like, hey, uncles, great seeing you. It's like the top of your heads there for a bit. I'll see you guys later. It's like our entire world, we can't even say generation, because our entire population has just become very reliant off of them. And it's weird. Like, socializing, like pre-COVID, socializing at a bar, say 2019, was a lot different than it was in 2011. In just 7-8 years, it was a lot different. So we're starting to, and that's the other thing too, is that it's almost turned people, and it's almost given everyone, I want to say, a form of like multiple personality disorder, because they have this digital reality that they live, and this digital avatar that they put up, like, hey, this is me, this is what I did, this is me doing this is me doing that, and like, oh, life is good and life is fun. Shit, I almost knocked over a fucking microphone. And then when you move into real life, it's like, you're fucking, like, you're a bummer, dude. Like, you're a fucking bummer. Like, you've created this digital avatar where this is who I thought you were, but now I'm meeting you in real life, we're hanging out in real life. It's just like, I can't wait for this fucking interaction to be over, and luckily, I wholeheartedly believe this. Who you see, the version you see of me online and stuff like that is the exact same fucking person. Like, I refuse to be 2 different people, because I like who I am for the most part, and I don't want to change that. Besides my weight, that's the only thing I want to change. But it's given a lot of people this multiple personality disorder, and people concentrate too much on their digital reality than their actual reality. And that's fucking sad to see.
Yeah, I want to commend you for, I sense a bit of vulnerability coming into that answer. And, like, I talk a bit about, on this channel, I talk a lot about how vulnerability is strength, and how a lot of our cultures, a lot of our cultures don't, we may say it, yeah, in theory, yes.
They shame it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shamed. It is shamed. And so, like, I want to just commend you for kind of getting into, I don't know, more of like, yeah.
I appreciate that, dude. Well, like, I'm an open book for the most part. And the other thing too is just like that. So vulnerability and making mistakes are frowned upon. But here's like, I know some people, like some people in my job are just like, I'm the best. I never fuck up. It's like, every time I fuck up, I tell people I fucked up, because guess what? I learned something, and you know what I might have just saved you? A fuck up, because now you're going to learn something from me.
Exactly. Yes, that's smart, and that's a good teammate.
I've had some fuck ups.
Yeah, we're all human.
Yeah. The worst thing is I have great parents. I have great parents.
Me too. Yeah.
Except all their mistakes, they told me about them, but it's just like, don't you fucking do it, because you fucking did it. If you fucking did it, then you fucking listen. Or the way to do this is like, look, these are the mistakes I made. You might make them. If you do, well, shit, now you've learned them for yourselves, but this is what's going to happen. And so much, at least here in Western society, I feel is that you're not allowed to make mistakes. That's it. You're not allowed to make mistakes at all. Because you fucked up. But then
there's a lot of shame attached to it. Yeah.
It is, and this is not me trying to put a fucking participation ribbon on that. Again, every time you fuck up, you learn something. You learn because what did you just learn? A way to not do something. And people don't a lot of people don't look at it that way. It's just like, but that's the way it is. Like, let's put this into a fucking sexual context. You're with somebody, you're trying something new, they don't like that. Guess what you're not going to probably do again? You're probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yo, won't you fucking dare kiss me there again, ever, or I'm gonna smack you. Well, I'm not gonna kiss that person there ever again because they're gonna fucking smack me.
Yeah. Well, some people take that as, oh, like they're just saying that, so let me try it again. Let's play the game, and then it's like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's
Yeah.
like when it comes, like there's like, now here's the thing with vulnerability. There's, it's good to be vulnerable, not all the time, but it's good to be to show like, yeah, this is who I am, because then, if we start doing the whole vulnerable all the time thing, then we start diving into the waters of oversharing or risking, or just, well, the one trend that we see right now is just we have to care about everyone's feelings all the time, no matter how small of a transgression might have, like you might say something, a word the wrong way, and then they just go like, you've offended me because this is something I really care about. It's just like, well, so like,
well, this
you might start diving into that, but
well, yeah, and I think at least on that side of the coin, like to be vulnerable, ideally, like aiming to be as vulnerable as possible, and then hoping that through that kind of first step that other people will give you the benefit of the doubt too, so that they can be like, what, this person is trying, this person is communicating in an empathetic, caring way. Like, I'm not gonna be a fucking asshole to them, because what is trying to be accomplished here, coming together, and if people are still assholes to you, if you are vulnerable, then why are they in your life? Like, why does that need to be even a thing? And so
they just made the easiest decision for you, which is get rid of them.
Exactly. Or not even get rid of them, because that's like effort. That's like energy. It's like let them. Well,
but just like
yeah.
That's, I know what you mean. Interaction ends there, and away you go.
There's no need to put any more energy into that relationship, And so by being vulnerable,
that's what I mean. Like, get rid of them. Like,
yeah. Well, I have. So usually, I usually ask people some of these random questions that I write down. They're kind of deeper, and it seems I haven't done this in a while because I usually only ask these questions to people who I feel like I have a decent conversation with. So pick two numbers.
I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. So ask away,
dude. I love it, dude. So could you pick two numbers between 1 and 48, and I'll ask you the corresponding question.
5 and 20.
Okay. 5. Where is your favorite place to travel?
Oh, let me fucking tell you. I cannot wait till COVID's over because the wife and I are going back to fucking Ireland and Scotland again and getting shittered. Ireland, here's my piece of advice for anyone. Go to Ireland. Holy fuck. There is we as Canadians pride ourselves in being nice, polite people. We learned it from the Irish. That's the best way to put it. Plus, their whiskey's incredible.
My God, dude, I love Guinness. I'm sure the Guinness there is just out of this world.
Dude, fucking night and day. Like, I didn't go to the Guinness storehouse when we were there, but we did have a proper pint poured for us. Having it poured here in North America, there's no fucking comparison. It's like Coca-Cola to water kind of deal. Like, it's completely different. It is thicker, smoother, velvetier, and just fizzes on your tongue in a different way. Like, do yourself a favor, once COVID's all over, go to fucking Dublin. Do it. You will not regret it. Plus,
I'm going. You sold me.
beautiful women there. Beautiful. If you're into women, there is some gorgeous women there. And then, yeah, like just very kind, polite, nice people.
You sold it. You sold it, man. You are a salesman for sure. All right, number 20. This one is different. Define what hatred means to you.
That's a fuck. Hatred to me is, I guess the best way to say it. I mean, I guess it's like love's evil brother, because you share an intense passion that you cannot get rid of for something or someone, but instead of good, it's bad. Like, I guess it's the evil brother of love.
Yeah, the other side of the coin.
It's the yin to the yang kind of deal.
Yeah.
Both are intense, powerful emotions that mean a lot. And one's for good and one's for bad. But that's the thing with yin and yang. You need them.
Is there a person, you don't have to say a name or anything, but is there a person that you have hated in your life, and why? There's a few people out there walking right now where I hope their kids never learn how to read, and I hope they get hit by a bus. There's a few people out there right now. Yeah. Like, why do you think that? Why do you think you hate them?
One of them was one of the worst bosses I ever had, and then a week after we had a coworker die, he gave us a briefing of what happened to that coworker. And then the same breath said, "Oh, also we're using too much of this one supply at work, so use less of it," in the exact same fucking paragraph. And he already wasn't well liked. So in the same paragraph where he's talking about so-and-so died, it was gruesome. It was not pretty. A bunch of people watched it happen. They're changed for the rest of their lives. And we got, and he actually, at this point, he was actually doing a really good job of the speech, where he's just like, we have to learn, we have to do better, because we can't have this happen right now. We can never have this happen again. We have to look out for each other. It's just like, fuck, okay, like, yeah, he's fucking nailing it. And also, yeah, this certain supply at work, we're using too much of it. We're not here to supply everywhere else with this certain supply, so use less of it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And that person, that moment was just like, yeah, if you got in a fucking accident tomorrow, I wouldn't even blame.
So was it like mainly like an insensitivity to like a general atmosphere, I guess?
The certain boss was, he left his family behind to come to where we work so he could make more money. So he was just a piece of shit from the get-go.
Yeah.
Just not a good person.
Yeah. You wonder with
someone if something bad were to happen to that person, I wouldn't be good.
You wonder with someone like that, I always find people like this fascinating, because like stories are constructed around people, and it's like, for a person like that to leave their family to make more money, like, what is the story? What is this guy's story of himself?
Oh, I know. Yeah, no. How when that person looks in the mirror, what story are they reliving? Like, when they look back, like when they're looking in their own eye, it's like, who are you seeing? I can tell you what X amount of other people in this town see, and it's not good. And like, what sort of, if you're not seeing the same story, then first and foremost, what dreamland are you living in? But if you are seeing the same story, how the fuck are you living with yourself? Like, yeah. But this person was one of the worst bosses. He actually, I feel wholeheartedly saying he's the worst boss I've ever had.
Man. That people can kind of generate that energy. Like, people can generate that energy in others, and that's the stuff that's really tearing us apart. It's
yeah. Well, the thing is, he's just doing it for a couple extra bucks on his paycheck a month. That's it. That's all he was doing it for.
Well, I have one.
So then that's which would more make.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which makes it just like, which makes it that much easier to fucking not like this person. because they were just doing it to make to make another dollar on their paycheck. That's it.
I just whenever I see people like live through money or for money, like there's some people that I know that like really don't like those people. I just view them as really sad. There's so much more to this world.
Yeah.
There's so much more to this reality. Like if anyone is ever out there,
For all we know, we only get
psychedelic
one
drugs.
this can, and that's the way you're spending it.
Yeah.
That's like we don't. For all we know, we only get one shot at this, and like you look at the person like this is the fucking one. This is the way you're choosing. Like really, like that's the fucking way you're choosing to go through this life. And yeah, I agree. Like yeah. Life is too short.
I have one last question for you before we go, because I am tired, but I've been really. This has been just such a joy, because it's been. I mean, I got to tell you.
I really think this conversation, dude.
Yeah, like I do these talks, and I've been hitting a wall lately with people, and actually my most recent reflection video has just been like how I've just come in touch with so many people who've been just very mean to me. I try to remain as open as possible, and like you have really been.
Oh, and just
yeah.
I've been going through a fucking slump with my shit too, dude. And then just like open up your channel. It's like, oh, like, yeah, no, you do these fucking cool videos. Like guaranteed, like tonight, tomorrow, especially, tomorrow during my first morning poop, I'm going to be watching some of your shit and checking it out, dude.
I
like,
love that.
I've really enjoyed this conversation. Like maybe we needed each other to bust each other's slump, dude.
I
but please ask the question. I'm looking.
Yeah. So the last question is, what advice would you give your former self?
Oh, I love this question because I've told it to a few people on Omegle, and we've essentially covered it, which is. So I take it you're late 20s.
30. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'm turning 30 this year too,
Nice.
And the one advice I could. It's fuck, dude. Metamucil is my best friend now. Otherwise, I can't. Yeah. The one piece of advice I give to myself if I was younger is, the way I look at it is me going back and looking at myself from when I was 20 and saying, "Look, dude, you're still a fucking kid. Like we both know that in here, poop, tits, boobs, pussy, fart. I'm still a kid, but you're still a fucking kid." Like, it wasn't until the age of 26 that I realized, oh, shit, I don't know fucking anything in life. But that's okay because I'm still fucking young. But up to that point, I felt like you're 20 now. You're an adult. You need to know all this shit. You need to know all these things. Otherwise, you're a fuck up. You're a failure. And you're just a failure of an adult. Where that's not true. Like, we're taught as kids, 2 years out of high school, you're supposed to know exactly who the fuck you're going to be for the remaining 60 to 80 years of your life. Which is... It's impossible. It's absurd. The one thing I've told a few kids on here, the one thing I've told a few young kids on here, it's like, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like, spend time, figure out who the fuck you want to be. Don't jump in. Like, unless you know you were put on this planet for a career, like for a certain career, then like if you know you wanted to be a lawyer, you wanted to be a fucking cop, or you wanted to be this or that since you were a pilot, go after it. But if you don't, you just, like me, where like you just landed in a job that seems to kind of fit, like spend the time, go, travel, figure.
Oh no. Don't tell me you froze. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm frozen. Damn it. My internet's not connected. Are you kidding me? Oh, Mr. Meat Shower. Oh no. Oh, I hope that you got my YouTube. Oh, Mr. Meat Shower. That name is definitely going on the video. Well, sir, you have been a wonderful help for me. Thank you. Wow. So I got a guy from the UK, and I got Mr. Meat Shower. Pretty awesome. Pretty cool. Yeah, go. So Mr. Meat Shower was talking about not being so hard on yourself for not having it all together when you're 20, you know, to go and enjoy things, enjoy your time, savor the moments, savor your limited time on this planet, you know, go travel, you know. Dude, it was a pleasure. And I hope that I get to talk with you again. Shoot me an email. I can't type it. Buildingbridges505 at gmail.com. Would love to keep in touch with you, man. Okay. Much peace to all of you. Much love. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.